looking at social media and just going what's going on in my own life with people I know and people obviously on X, I totally understand why there's a lot of pain, but more interestingly, I think there's a lot of confusion about what's actually going on and why. If you're looking at the Trump landslide, looking at things like JFK Jr. being appointed to lead healthcare when he doesn't believe in vaccinations or fluoride and things like this, and how can you make sense of it? Have we gone completely crazy, or is something else going on? And if you're going to look at this through the traditional mindset, I guess the way we were taught growing up, the way the world conditioned us and raised us, if you're going to look at it, things like obviously, if you believe that there's no corruption in the healthcare system, if you believe that vaccines are good, if you believe that the justice system is fair, if you believe that the institutions are working just fine, that Hollywood people are just fine, that the people in charge of banks are not corrupt and they're not just printing money and enslaving us, if you don't see any of this, I understand why you're completely confused about Trump, about MAGA, about JFK Jr. taking that position, and so forth. So what you have to understand is this. We're not playing politics, right? This is not about politics. This is not about, oh, they took advantage of this message and they convinced people and they won the election. This is not about an election. This is really not about anything in the familiar old legacy world that we're used to. What is happening, is that people are awakening. It's called the Great Awakening. And if you understand what awakening means, then none of this is confusing at all. Because, for example, a person who is awakened understands that you don't need medicine, you don't need toxic medications and vaccines and something injected into you or a pill put into your mouth to make you healthy. You understand that you're born in perfect health. You understand that that truth and honesty is right, period. That censorship is always wrong, period. That you see with such clarity when you awaken, and when you awaken to the only kind of awakening there can be, which is to love is the reality, right? So unconditional love, take that a little bit further, with some limits on people who are enslaving you, limits. You don't keep giving your love to toxic people, that's overused and that's misused like everything else. People that are just taking from you and abusing you, gaslighting you, and treating you like you don't matter and not valuing or respecting you. Of course, you cannot love unconditionally and just keep giving all your money to someone who will take all your money. But that said, awakening means understanding that your reality, the reality of who you are, is unconditional love. It's that feeling of love within, which always comes from within. And furthermore, it's the relinquishment of any fear. So to awaken, and this is the message of Jesus on the cross and the resurrection, that there's nothing to fear, not even in death. That reality is not fear-based. That if you think fear is real, you've gone into your ego. Fear is used to control us. So when you're fearing that you can't have access to a vaccine, or else you get a measles or whatever. Now they're controlling you to where you're going to spend your money and you're going to be poisoned by an establishment designed to treat you like an animal and slowly kill you and profit from you. To them, you're livestock, to the cabal. So those of us who see that, we cheer, we applaud when these institutions get torn down. You see, when they say they're going to cut the salaries by 80%, go, do it, right? We're not scared of what will happen next because we understand that the purpose and the function of the institution, it's all the same, whether it's Hollywood, whether it's the corporate world. That's a little bit of a broad statement. I'll come back to that. Whether it's the media, okay, or whether it's the healthcare system, whether it's the defense, the military-industrial complex. What other institutions do you want to talk about? The food industry. It's the same. It's the same people running it. The tax system, income tax is theft. Why would someone be able to take a percentage of if I do something for you and you pay me, why would someone else take a portion of that? So when you start to awaken, it's there's a few items to understand here, a few different elements to this. There's the inner dimension of awakening, which is to understand that the ego is what pulls you away from your natural state of being. And I'm not going to give a lesson on awakening right now, because that's what I've been writing about in all the books and all the posts for many, many years. So there's an inner dimension to awakening, which is that the external reality isn't real. What's real is beyond the world of form, right? It's the soul, the spirit, love, feeling good. So an awareness that is the ultimate reality, not what car you have, where you live, what your title is, how you look. The other element to awakening is to understand what's been going on in this world, which is led by satanic values, led by people who believe they are superior to us. I won't name them. They believe that we are worthless and it's perfectly okay to enslave us, to kill us, to use us however they see fit, just like we might do to livestock. So when you understand that the school system, the educational system is part of this, the healthcare system is part of this, everything that we have been just taking for granted as being reality is part of this system, this satanic belief system, the force in the world that makes the world hell, that makes life hell. And when you understand that, the letter you can't say, the 17th letter, and Mr. T, who's now going to become president, it's all part of a movement to overcome, to defeat that. So no, this is not an election. This is not about being right. This is not about showing how stupid you are if you don't see it. What's going to happen, and what is happening right now, is you're expected, every human being is expected to come along on this journey. We're expected to see the truth being presented. We're expected to see the lies that we were taught our entire lives. We're expected to see that the pandemic was a complete fiction, a fear-based fiction perpetuated on us to test us. And you're expected to see bullshit everywhere that it exists. And you're expected to find relationships and family as being something sacred, that you don't cut relationships because of different political views. It's time to hug the people you love, to accept them, to communicate with them, find out why they believe what they do believe, come to those who you thought were crazy, who you still hope are crazy, but the thing is, we're not crazy. This is what's happening right now. So nothing's ever going to make sense. Your arguments about doing things better on the liberal side and getting our message out, you're playing politics, but we're done with politics. The woke stuff, the LGBTQ, trans, all this stuff, we're done with it. We're just done with it. We're going to say whatever is the truth, because that's what an awakened person does. And nothing we're going to say is actually bad or harmful or wrong. And if it hurts, it's only because it hurts your ego. And the more you can hurt your ego, the further you get toward this awakening. Everyone gets to a point where they've had enough. And when you get to that point, good. Let it die. Let that identity, let your whole identity that you've built up for all these years and you work so hard to maintain and carry around with you, let it die. It doesn't matter. Let go of the fear. It isn't real. Learn to see the truth, speak the truth, accept the truth. And it takes time. You go through phases. You go through total fascination and you can't even sleep and you want to research some more. And then it goes through depression. Oh my God, I can't believe this is what happened to me. This is what they did to us. Yeah, this takes at least months to even begin this journey. And many people have been going on this journey for decades. But if you want to understand MAGA, understand why the majority of people voted this way, it's because we've awakened, not because we're right-wing or conservative. We don't believe in any of that stuff that you believe in. We don't think it's true. We know it isn't true. So you're never going to make sense out of it unless push a little bit deeper, understand what ego means. Look, I put a lot of content out there myself. Abscondo.com. You can see thousands of posts, talks, my books. You can read spiritual teachers. Eckhart, if you don't want to get political, start with Eckhart Tolle or Course in Miracles or religion. Go explore your religion and understand it as a metaphor, a teaching about what is true in life. Love, unconditional love, but tell the truth, live in truth, even the hard truth. We're going to get there. Not everyone's going to make it, but most of us are. Okay? The faster we can get to this point of awakening, the easier it's going to get, because there's no going back. The world's being upgraded. See?